Set us up. Hopefully my charger won't be a nuisance. I'm trying to get this for y'all. Take the time right now to test the camera and set it up. New TV, by the way. New setup to the whole room, actually. My whole living room's completely different. Alright, let's see what I can do about this. Hell yeah. There we go. Alright. Keep my eye open for 150. Double check, make sure I got my lap count there to where it need to be. Oh, this is replay theater. Alright, got it there. Before I begin the race, I want to get my car I'm taking good and set up and ready to run. Loading. I just want to get my ride ready. Alright, settings. Oh darn, I can't do that. I gotta get the rest of the parts for this thing, but alright. Wait for the light to come on and I'll be able to read my analog clock I got on the wall. Close enough, let's begin. Welcome guys to tonight's live stream. I will be doing 69 laps. I went on the Gran Turismo Phaeton, I don't really know how to pronounce that word still, shit boasting group, which is a bunch of shit posters for Gran Turismo that I'm down with. I told them tonight that I would live stream myself running 69 laps on a track of their choice in the Chrysler Phaeton, which is a car we've basically memed. And they voted, all 3 of the people who chose to vote. There's more than 3 people in the group. We got like, a good few hundred people with us. But anyway, they've chosen Super Speedway. Now, one rule with me that I must go by, I hate duplicate cars. So if I get duplicates, I'm exiting and I'm getting a fresh lineup. Alright, no duplicates. TVR, Rough, Renault, Viper, Shelby, and then there's me. I also have damage on to make this a little bit more challenging. Let's go racing, boys. Look at my whip. Who's in first? And I didn't turn off the background music, and we have garbage, I think I'm paranoid, playing in the background. YouTube, don't take down my stream. This song is copyright garbage, and I'm not making any money off this stream. I make money with a job. I mean, some people got YouTube as their job, but not me. Alright, lap 2. Honestly, I was expecting them to pick Grindelwald or something like that. I remember, a couple years ago, I think it was, 2016, I did a live stream on Halloween. No, I think it was last year, actually. I did a live stream for Halloween GT4, I did 31 laps at Autumn Ring. Alright, I'm on lap 3. Look back. I turned on the damage, so in case I slipped up and wrecked, make it a little bit harder in pit. Because this game is honestly, this car is so easy to win in. I have it set to 603 horsepower, so it's easy to just shit all over these guys with this thing. So I turned on damage to make it easier. And honestly, I'm just looking back to look at the front of this thing. It looks just vicious as hell. Like, I'd watch your back if you saw this coming down the freeway. He's gonna eat your ass with a side of ketchup. And it's pretty fast too, like seriously. Now I have to say though, before I joined the Gran Turismo Phaeton Shit boasting group, the Phaeton was definitely one of those cars that always intrigued me. Like, I always thought it was cool looking. The moment I first saw that, I'm like, what the heck, is that real? Is that a fantasy car? And I always thought it was a nice looking car. So I have always had respect for this car. Above all, I don't really know, but I could go a little bit more into detail with. Now, the shit posting group that I'm talking about has a whole lore behind it. Okay, so the key figures you need to know is, of course, Phaeton, GT40, the Daihatsu Midget 2, and as of recent, apparently, the Toyota Pod. So, you got Phaeton, which is, of course, numero uno. He's the head honcho of it all. Typically depicted as a godlike figure. GT40, the Ford GT40, is typically depicted as the antagonist. The reason for this stems from, actually, if you, in this game, the Classic Car Cup, the second race at Rome Circuit, the horsepower limit, I think, was like 295, and the, what was it, 394 horsepower GT40 could enter the race illegally. Hence, he's cheating. And then there's the Midget, too, or Midget, simply. The joke with him is he's always losing because, well, in truth, the Midget 2 is the second slowest car in the game. Second to, what, the Fiat 500R? In fact, heck, I think the 500R could beat it in a race. Alright, I passed the Clio back there. Anyway. And then there's the new edition that came, like, what, months ago to the lineup? The Toyota Pod, which is a concept car that had, apparently dog-like capabilities, too. I don't know. It's weird. That's all I can describe it as, is weird. But, with the Pod, the idea is, shoot, honestly, I haven't been around the group that much to know about the pod. But for what I remember, the pod is like those evil, cheeky little bastards that'll just screw up everything. And I mean, rightfully so, the pod's an ugly ass car. And it tried to be cute with the little, like, tail on the back and making those little, like, jingle noises. I'd get attached to a Roomba quicker than I would those things. Or quicker than I would a pod. Fun fact, did you know people have actually had emotional attachments to Roombas? People would prefer to get the Roomba they own fixed rather than get a new Roomba because they're so used to having them run around the house like a pet. This is true. I am not pulling this out of my ass or thin air. Ooh, almost caught slipping there. See, another thing with the Phaeton is it's really heavy to steer. Yeet. Nope. Dance in circles. Let me tell y'all, it's been a long ass day for me. When I get done this race, I'm getting my happy ass to bed. Oh, another something else I kind of want to go into a bit of detail with, was a video I posted, oh god, what was it? Not this Friday, but last Friday, so a week ago. I had basically announced, Homies on a Friday Night was kind of at the end. For those of you who are watching this, probably not live right now, but for future references and aren't familiar with that, Homies on a Friday Night is a series I have done with my sister, brother, and cousin, and later my girlfriend, since April 2016. But anyway, what had happened was we're just not as invested in the show anymore. So, episodes won't come that often. Episodes will probably come maybe at the quickest they'll come 2 weeks apart again, but at longest it could be a while. And it's gonna be like that for the rest of the time being. I'm not going back on the we're gonna do it every 2 weeks thing. Because honestly, within a time frame like that and constantly getting video of Ready to Rumble, it gets boring quick. And I mean, we had plenty more games to play, honestly. I mean, I had Shrek 2. Had because I just traded it in today. I have Nicktoons Unite. I have Crazy Taxi, Simpsons Road Rage, Luigi's Mansion. I have a ton of games. But the problem was, we're just not invested in the show as much as we were anymore. We all want to do our own things. Like, for example, I want to start filming a video game segment. Gina will want to look at Instagram memes. Gina will want to go outside and play some stupid game. It's basically Marco Polo on land. It's called Hide and Clap. It's hide and seek with hints, to put it lightly. And I wouldn't want to do that. I would instead go in and play Cash Inc., which is this mobile game I'm completely addicted to right now. Whew. And then, of course, there's the decisions of we can't come up with what game we want to play with. Like, some nights the kids will want to play Go Fish or Phase 10. I'll want to play Monopoly. Or vice versa. Like, me and others will want to play one game and somebody else, one person will want to play another. Um, and then there's the matter too, again, of the video games. All we do is Ready to Rumble. And typically the filler content, like the intros, is basically just me and Connor joking around. And I mean, I do my funniest material when it's like me and Connor. Like, Connor's hilarious, honestly. Cool dude. And David's gotten really funny as the show went along. Like, if you remember, he was young and kind of, but then the series goes along, he gets older and he's hilarious. And I mean, Gina's funny too. Gina's funny too, but above all, the problem with all of us is we just can't find what we want to do. Like, a majority of them will want to do one thing, but at least one of us will want to do something else. And see, another problem is, though, again, the only video game we could all come to the table with was Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. Which, I mean, it's a fun game. Hell, I'll do a playthrough, a let's play of it one day. In fact, I'll get a poll going on the Franciosi and Friends Productions Twitter page. Now, I have a let's play I haven't touched in a while. ATV Off-Road Fury 2. But see, the problem is I can't really preload with these crappy controllers I got. Well, take that back, scratch that. I can. So, if I start a Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2 Let's Play, that'd be 3 Let's Plays. Now, the most Let's Plays I think I've had on my plate was 3, I believe. The Simpsons game, which only saw like 2 or 3 episodes. Gran Turismo 3, which is still going strong. I gotta do another episode of that sometime soon. Maybe tomorrow? And then there was Gran Turismo 2, which was a brief substitute for the then on hiatus Gran Turismo 3. Which, by the way, I just call it Let's Play Gran Turismo 3. I call it that personally, but for the sake of consistency in the titles, it'll still be Gran Turismo 3 Nostalgia Challenge. You see, the thing is with me, though, I've just worn thin of that title. Like, it's not... I mean, it can be a challenge because there are better cars in 3. What would, like, the 787B is a really good car. And the Aston Martin Vanquish can be a killer car. But other than that, all the better cars are from GT2. I mean, the GT1, the R390, some pretty good cars. How are we on lap 24 already? I need a drink. Okay, so out here where I live, we got a supermarket chain called Save-A-Lot. And they got this store brand soda called Bubba Cola. And I know what some of you are thinking at home. The poor son of a bitch drinks store brand soda. He can't afford Coca-Cola. Well, number one, I mean, technically I could buy anything I want on my money. But number two, Save-A-Lot's Bubba Cola is really good. Like, if you live around where I live, you'll know. And for those of you who don't have a Save-A-Lot, or those of you that don't have a store that carries something like this, I pity you. because this stuff is good. I gotta say though, like, one thing that really annoys me with Gran Turismo 1 and 2, oh, and by the way, now I'm saying, like, both Turismo and Turismo, like, I don't know, I grew up saying Turismo, but everyone insists it's Turismo. But anyway, oh yeah, I hate how the first two games, like, for the whole race, will only loop one song. I mean, I get it. Like, the majority of the races in these games are like 2 laps, with the longest races in this game being, well, 5 laps for normal ones. And I'm not counting the endurance races. And speaking of endurance races, I just have to vent. What the hell was up with the case of Tokyo Route 246 in Gran Turismo 3? 100 laps there. No B-spec, mind you. Oh, and by the way, people have told me that there's a B-spec version of GT3. No, there isn't. I'm sorry, but it's just not there. You know what? I'm finna intentionally wreck the car so I can just have an excuse to pit and turn on the fan, because I'm not about to pause. Okay, you know what? I'm doing that. I'm so far. I'm comfortably far ahead. There. Ugh. Now get the fan on. At least on setting 1. And turn off the oscillate. I needed some air, guys. I'm burning. Excuse me. Whoa. Is that the Viper, or is that the... Yeah, it's the Viper. I can make out the pixels of the rear stripes. I'm only on lap 30. Trying to think if there's anything I want to talk about. Oh yeah, Eminem dropped an album out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. He kept it quiet all this time. And then I heard there was a controversy with the album. And I thought the controversy was because the album art for it looked like the album art to Beastie Boys' License to Ill. No. The controversy was M referred to Tyler the Creator as a British cigarette. If you know what that means, it's basically, alright, think of bag, and then replace the B with the 6th letter of the alphabet, and you get that, yeah. I'm not taking a risk on getting this live stream striked. I mean, I'll say shit, piss, and damn, but frankly, I'm too tired to go my full edgy 9 yards. I'm just going 3 yards right now. But anyway, people raised a stink about it. But apparently M did it because Tyler had referred to himself as such. And M only did it, I guess, as like a joke. But he censored himself. He censored himself in the actual album. Like it's bleeped in the actual album. Which, honestly, that surprises me because it sounds like Eminem's too scared to actually let loose politically incorrect dialogue. And this is coming from the guy who joked about getting forcibly intimate with his own mom. I think that was in, what, his song Kill You? Oh, and there was another controversy with M, I think, this year. Where he was doing a live performance, and one of them was Kill You. Which, of course, is quite a song, to be honest. But anyway, there were pyrotechnics, and people saw the explosion flashes on stage, but regardless, people still feared that it was a gun in the crowd. Because that happened back in February? March? And the memory of the Las Vegas shooting was still fresh in everyone's memory. So, yeah, it got messy for him. I don't know. M has always had a rough time. He's trying to go more politically correct, and he's still getting the shit stick. It's like, what, Eminem sings the Barney theme song, and people are still gonna vent about it? With the line, what, something about believing in Barney? And then the media's gonna cry, Eminem discriminates against people who don't believe in Barney. News at 11 on how Eminem let loose this bigoted line. I could just see it coming, like, seriously. But then again, the same media will go, is existing racist? We question whether or not we are offending non-existent races because we have existence privilege. It'll happen. It'll happen. I give it till 3018 to happen. I was gonna talk about something. I remember the big one. Okay, so in the demos for GT2, there is hidden a track that is complete, but it was never in the final game. It's called Indy. I don't know if some of y'all have heard of it or not. People who are like avid fans of GT2 may know what I'm talking about, but Indy was a track set in like a city setting at night, shaped like Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And all in all, it was a gorgeous track. And some people have managed to hack it into GT2's coding, or something like that, and run races on it. Well, apparently if that happens, all the cars will like bunch up in the right side of the wall. I just want to know one thing. Why did they not put that track in the game? I mean, what, would that have been maybe too much oval-like tracks? We had test course. We had super speedway. Ah, crap, I damaged the car. Look, see? I clipped the wheel and now my steering's all screwed up. I'm gonna need to pit again. Yay. Look, see me swerve? I'm on lap 41, and that was an accident. That wasn't intentional. So I gotta go in for pit work. Now my question is, though, with Indy, was Super Speedway the replacement for it? Or did they intend on all three tracks, Indy, Test Course, and Super Speedway, being in the game? Too many oval tracks, said nobody ever. Although we would eventually get the real Indianapolis for GT5. Although technically, the first NASCAR track to appear in the Gran Turismo series is Infineon, which is now known as what, Sonoma? It used to be known as Sears Point, then it was Infineon, then it was now it's Sonoma. I know they renamed Laguna Seca recently. It used to be Laguna Seca, then it was Mazda Raceway, and now it's what, Weatherlock Raceway, something like that. When Laguna Seca comes to GT Sport, if it comes to GT Sport, do you think that they will keep it as Mazda Raceway, or do you think they'll update it to WeatherTech Raceway? I mean, after seeing them update the name in GT4 from Laguna Seca to Mazda Raceway, I think they might do that. Also, if they decide to bring back Fuji Speedway, do you think they'll bring back the 80s incarnation too? Like the 80s and 90s incarnation? Think the track from Pole Position. Anybody remember Pole Position? Alright, that one may be a bit before your time. Alright, we are more than halfway done this race. I gotta squeeze out another burp. Ugh. Okay, so, well, it's like 2:20 in the morning on Saturday, so I could say yesterday by now. Yesterday, we went to go see a football game. Well, really, I didn't originally want to go, but my sister pressured me into it, my girlfriend pressured me into it, and my brother and my dad, basically everybody pressured me into going to this game. So I go, and to tell the truth, I wasn't all too happy about it. But then I started getting a little bit more into the game, and a second quarter starts, and it's 3-0, the visiting team. I won't say the teams that we're playing, because that'll pretty much give away the schools. And for security reasons, I never give off school names. So, a storm's rolling in, and Cumberland has been getting a really wet summer this year. So I'm thinking, oh great, another rain, whatever. And I mean, I had gotten an emergency alert on my phone that the neighboring counties had a flash flood warning, but Cumberland wasn't part of that. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll probably just get some rain, no big deal. But all in all, after that, the storm rolls in, and apparently there were reports of lightning. So the game was delayed. So, and apparently I had heard a rule from my girlfriend saying for every bolt of lightning that they see, and not just like a cloud flash, but like every time they saw a physical bolt of lightning, they had to delay the game for a half an hour. and it would reset to another half hour with each new bolt. Well, the lightning was getting pretty strong and constantly recurring, so me, my brother, and my girlfriend start walking home. And on the way home, I raised the umbrella with the metal tip up in the air, like the little jokester I am, and I'm like, hey babe, look, I'm Ben Franklin. Next thing you know it, right in front of me, and I don't mean like literally in front of me, but like miles out in front of me, you just get this like big bright lightning bolt come down, and I'm just like, whoa, shit. And I put the umbrella down. I'm thinking, fuck, I'm gonna get struck by lightning right here, right now. I'm getting struck by lightning. But no, it was miles out. So I'm shaken up with that already. And then, like, it had to have been a quarter mile away from us. Like, maybe not even that. Another bolt of lightning strikes. I saw it out the corner of my eye, guys. And this was loud. It had to have been, just a few blocks away from us. And by this point, I'm screaming, guys, we have to get to shelter now. And basically my idea was go under a tree until the storm passes, knock on a door and ask if we could call my dad to come pick us up, because my girlfriend decided we were going to walk to the game, or her and David walked to the game. Me and Gina rode in with a friend. And so Gina and the friend were going to ride back home. And then me, David, and Cheyenne walked home. And the storm hit as soon as we got on my street. So it's downpouring, and the lightning's getting pretty intense too. I'm trying to run, but I'm wearing sandals. So I go to my last resort. I pick up my sandals and I'm running. I'm stepping on pebbles, and it hurt like a bitch, but I didn't want to get hit by lightning. I was freaked out by it, like with the little Ben Franklin umbrella stunt. I was tripping out. Like, I was thinking, I'm really gonna get zapped today. I'm gonna be one of those few people that got zapped by lightning. Luckily, I made it home, unzapped. So, yeah. So essentially, my idea was, there was a reason I didn't want to go. I felt just like, I didn't feel like going, but I didn't know why I had that feeling. I guess maybe it was because I knew deep down inside that something was gonna happen. But at the same time, I didn't want to upset my family, or especially my girlfriend. She really wanted to go. It was the first game of the season, and it was, it's her sister's senior year. And I didn't want my girl to miss out on that because I didn't feel like going. So I told her, take David and you two go have fun. And I mean, David and her have grown like really close to each other, and I absolutely love that. I love that the two of them get along so good. Heck, last Friday when we were going to be filming for Homies on a Friday night again, but I decided, okay, time to just put the show in comatose status. For the longest while, David had an addiction to the Ghost Rider video game for PlayStation 2, or as Connor and David colloquially called it, Skelly Boy. So that was a recurring joke with us for a bit. And then David was playing the game so much that the disc started wearing down, so he told me to hide it. I hid it right under the couch with no effort getting up. And he found it, and Gina and Cheyenne were wrestling him to get it off of him. Well, David comes back with the game, and him and Cheyenne start wrestling again. And Cheyenne jumps up on his back. And keep in mind, David's a bigger kid now than he was all that time ago. He has, seriously, since I started this channel, that kid has gotten big. And I'm not, then it's not a fat joke. I mean, the kid's gotten tall and strong. And there you have little Cheyenne there on his back. What's that noise? I'm tripping. But anyway, Cheyenne's on his back trying to get Ghost Rider out of his hand. And they're roughhouse and they're playing around. Next thing you know, they're stumbling into the back of the recliner chair. Okay, so you guys have of course seen the Homies on a Friday Night house. You know, the big open room with the table and the fireplace and the great big TV with the recliner chair. Well, they went right into that, and the first thing to hit the chair was Cheyenne's head, and then her arm went after. And all I hear is "ow," and then David's laying on his back, like grunting in pain, like ugh. And Cheyenne's bawling her eyes out. She's in pain. And the first thing she says is, "David, are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you fine?" And she must have pulled a muscle in her arm. And then David told me when the dust all settles down, I mean, she's still crying in pain, but David looks at me and says, "Brandon, I was worried that you were going to beat the crap out of me, because that's your girlfriend and I basically hurt her." And I'm like, "You didn't hurt her, man. It was a total accident. Besides, she jumped up on your back." And we all had a laugh about that. Cheyenne even said, "Yeah, I'm responsible for all that." And so we all agreed on that. We had a good laugh. But essentially what had happened was, yes, Cheyenne must have pulled a muscle in her arm. I mean, this isn't the only example of video game addiction. And actually, the whole Skelly Boy addiction was going to be a Homies on a Friday Night episode. I was going to make that episode 50, actually. In fact, I was going to make a whole video game addiction series. Like, I was going to do one with Gina and Tetris. In case you guys don't know, Gina has an addiction to this Tetris plug and play. And one night I had brought what was it, Tetris on the Nintendo Entertainment System when I had it. I've since sold my NES for a pretty penny. But anyway, the idea was Gina was addicted to Tetris and we were going to get her help and form like a support group. Well, that idea didn't come into fruition, ever. And the idea came about actually with the whole Gina's addicted to Tetris. The idea came about when I was getting annoyed with Gina constantly playing this Tetris plug and play, because I mean, we had done plug and plays before, but I didn't really enjoy the concept of playing a plug and play console for Homies on a Friday Night. And I'm talking like those little Jack's Pacific plug and plays. I mean, again, we've done the Namco ones a couple times, but now I have Namco Museum Volume 3 for PlayStation 1. Well, I had gotten annoyed, and I was just like, you know what, screw this. And I just go chill on the couch. They're playing Tetris, and I'm watching a specific YouTube channel. I'm scared to say the name of the person who had this YouTube channel because, well, it is he who shall not be named. Let's just say I made a parody of him. Well, not like a mean parody, but like just a name drop parody of him in the third trailer for Homies on a Friday Night, episode 25, Jamon OGs, which, if you remember that, was commemorating a lot of stuff. By that point, we had just hit, I think it was 10,000 views across all our videos. We had just hit, I think by that point, we had hit 50 subscribers, maybe 75, 80. We had hit some milestones. But essentially, things were just different. Okay, well, back to where we were with the race. We are on lap 67. Trailing everyone. And you know what? I'm going to be that one merciful dude who lets them all finish. So, like, once I finish the race, I'm just going to let it keep going until everybody else finishes. Well, I got a bag of jalapeno Doritos over here. Oh, they're not setting well in my stomach. And again, to summarize the Chrysler Phaeton in one word, good. This is a good car. Now, it's heavy to steer, but because of GT2's looser steering mechanic, it works out. But if we were playing like 3 onwards and the car was in there, it would definitely be a much harder car to steer, I believe. It's a nice looking car, it definitely is. I mean, look at the front of that thing. I think it's mean looking. It looks like something out of a Batman comic book. Heck, if the spray paint feature was in GT2, I'd definitely be spraying this thing black. I think it'd look crisp black. And there we go. After 3/4 of an hour, we finished the race. And my opponents right now, the Shelby Cobra Coupe is a lap behind. The CTR2 is a lap behind. The Tuscan Speed 6, 4 laps behind. The Viper GTS, 4 laps behind. And the Renault Clio V6 24V, 6 laps behind. Alright. In the meantime, I'm just gonna chill here on the couch and watch them all catch up. Well, also, what's the term I'm looking for? Artificially prolong the video. Okay, there we go, some action. They were 54 to 55 seconds behind. The others are going to be at least a few minutes. Okay, all in favor of not watching this drag on, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Right. Alright. And there we have it. 69 laps, super speedway. We dominated. I think I'll save that replay. I'll call this one live stream. I don't really save my replays in this game that much. And there we go. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I will be sure to try to keep up with more YouTube videos. I have in mind skits. I have in mind doing some more with Let's Plays. I have in mind a bunch of stuff, honestly. So I will see you guys next time. Peace out, bitches. And we're clear.